Hi, you guys. Welcome to this talk. I have been going over the major transits of 2025, and in this video, we're going to look at South Node going into Virgo for 2025. And I find this to be very, very interesting energy because the shadows of Virgo have a lot to do with correction. And so it's like, how could Virgo ever be wrong? How could Virgo ever be something that we want to release? But if any of you have ever been around heavy, shadowy Virgo energy, you will understand that the levels of criticism that can happen in Virgo energy, whether it's external criticism or internal criticism, can break the spirit. And so this is why I actually am going to call this video The Broken Spirit. And, it would be so much easier to say, the hypercritic or something like that. But I don't want to just label things in their archetypes. I want to tell and share with you what is the manifestation of the archetype. So the manifestation of a hypercritical energy, it comes from a broken spirit. This is either the person who is doing the criticizing or the person that they are criticizing. Powerful stuff. Because you will see actually that the person who is doing the criticizing thinks that they are different than the person that they are criticizing. And there's levels to that. Virgo is an earth sign, and earth and material things are things that we tangibly see. So when we are doing a critical thing and we're like, this person, I see something in them that I don't like, there's levels of this where it's also somewhere within you. Maybe it's not manifested the same way, but there's some sort of mimicking going on in those energies. And you know what? Virgo can back me up on this. You don't want to know why? Because Virgo is Mercury ruled. And Virgo is also the sign before the reflector, which is Libra. So in Libra, we see the reflection of the person. You look into the mirror, your Libra is your mirror. So Virgo is just before that. And so Virgo showcases to us the mimic. So in a lot of ways, these two energies are showing us how we are the person we're looking at, okay? Well, Virgo's energy is about looking at things and putting them in order and organizing. And from the spirit of that, and when you truly love that spirit and you truly love organizing things, there's actually an inner peace that is happening. The mercurial energy actually finds peace in order and organizing, except for when it is overtly critical. This is where you get the shadows of Virgo, where you have insomnia and you have anxiety and you can't think straight because you're actually not enjoying the organizing. You're not enjoying the order because at the core of your criticism or what you think is correction is actually a broken spirit. And a true Virgonian energy in its highest octane is a healed spirit, a full spirit, a mended together spirit who is organizing. Okay, so this is why Virgo also is connected to service, and it has a lot to do with helping each other. The nodes are in the axis of service. Virgo and Pisces, they both rule over service. And so it also goes to show when you are somebody who's correcting something or criticizing something, right? If you're in the space of service, it's going to be way more effective. If you're not in the space of service and you're still correcting and criticizing things, then this means that you are expecting something from somebody and you actually lose that sense of service, and you are showcasing where you have had a broken spirit, because the Virgo spirit is one of service. Okay, so when we look at the axis, I'm going to talk more about the North Node and Pisces, but this video is more about the South Node and Virgo, right? When you look at this axis, the North Node is moving now to Pisces, which is asking us to be more open to compassion, open to empathy, which shows to us that Virgo's shadow is lack of compassion, lack of empathy, lack of sensitivity. And this also contributes to the broken spirit. So Virgo and Pisces are both in the service-oriented space. And Virgo is the mender, and Pisces has the compassion. If the mender is not utilizing its compassion, its opposite energy, then what is really going on here? There's a lot of suspicion going on here. Actually, I'm going to use the example that I used on my TikTok where I talked about this idea of somebody who needs to lose weight. Okay, so let's say, and this is perfect for Virgo because Virgo rules over health and usually is the energy that we harness when we do want to be healthier in our bodies, digestion, and things like that. Okay. So Virgo is about being accountable to our health, right? So it makes total practical sense that in your Virgonian energy, you might see somebody who has put some weight on, or you yourself might have put some weight on, and you want to correct that. You want to do something about it, but it becomes very sticky, doesn't it? There's levels of this here that really has a lot to do with self-compassion, because people who punish themselves to lose weight have lost their compassion for themselves. They see their overweightness, right, as a real problem, and they deliver a strong need to push themselves in order to realize some sort of perfection in their head, instead of acting in perfection at the moment, which is a lot to do with having compassion and doing things with grace for yourself rather than punishing yourself to lose weight. This is where we get the diet industry, the fitness industry. They'll do anything to make you feel like you need to start working on this new part of your body or start trying this new diet. So then ultimately the very thing that needs correction now becomes tainted. And so many people will build up resistance against it because there is corruption in the service to help you correct it. There is corruption in the correction. Another situation that I have seen with my own eyes, been through as well, is when you have somebody that is telling you this is the right thing. And the truth is that it is right. Whether this person is telling you to get a job or they're telling you to lose weight, they're telling you to do things, they're telling you the correct thing. And to them, it makes total logical sense, but they lack compassion and empathy. So the delivery sounds more like criticism than actual correction. They lack empathy and compassion. And all they can say is, well, that's the fact. You're fat, so lose weight. You have no job, so get a job, right? They lack compassion in this delivery. I see it all the time with toxic men on TikTok where they're like, well, cook me some food, and why don't you give me any sex? And all of those things can twist a person's mind. Why? Because at the end of it, it makes a lot of logical sense. Yeah, you're with a partner, you want to have sex with them. Why won't you have sex with them, right? You want to lose weight. Why don't you just go ahead and just start losing weight, right? It's never that easy. Why isn't it easy? Because there's no compassion, there's no sense of grace, and there's no sense of self-love in order for somebody to do it with grace. The logic of getting things done doesn't always work without the compassion, without the emotion. So with Virgo South Node, we also are looking at the practicalities and the logics and the straight and direct, correction, and where we don't want to be correct. We don't want to be corrected. We have resistance against that correction. That's why the North Node in Pisces also has a lot to do with messiness, accepting your messiness. It's some real shit. It's some deep shit, because the thing is that when you're in a situation where somebody exhibits criticism and calls it helping you, you actually resist them. So the fat person who's around someone who's like, you got to lose weight, the truth is that losing weight would be great for them. But because the person is approaching it with criticism, without service, and correction, without compassion, the person who needs to lose the weight resists it. And they actually might even go out and eat even more. They might do this as an act of rebellion. This happens all the time. People wonder, why is it that people can't get back on their feet? A lot of it has to do with the twisted psychology of how we handle correction and how we deal out correction. In a lot of ways, correction seems to be punishment, and correction seems to be judgment, which leads certain people who really need that correction to do the opposite. They don't want to please and appease their critic. They don't want to please and appease their critics. And so they harm themselves even more because they just are stuck in that toxic situation. People who don't understand this concept really have lost their connection to compassion. And so they will walk around being like, well, I'm right. And the truth is that with the North Node of Pisces, right and wrong doesn't always apply. So in the South Node in Virgo, you want to understand that you have a great eye for perfection. But if you do not have compassion with correction, then that eye of perfection becomes criticism. And it will be that outwardly, and it can also be that inwardly. And going back to the concept of the broken spirit, in which somebody who corrects you without compassion, somewhere on their line, they did something. And they either neglected taking ownership for it. They never healed from it. And they have lost that connection to their self-forgiveness. So they do not know how to actually deal out correction to people in a way that is effective. Utilizing the South Node in Virgo, you want to be able to take your eye of perfection and bring it into the North Node of Pisces, wherever Pisces is in your chart, and start to correct things with compassion. My dear loved ones, this is going to be a transit that allows you to understand unconditional love. And that's why 2025 is one of the most epic years that I have seen, because of all of the major transits happening, major planets moving into new signs. But especially the fact that the North Node of Destiny chose to be in the last sign, the sign that encompasses it all. It seems there is a true finale that is occurring here, a new earth that is wanting to be birthed here, because the North Node in Pisces has a finale to it. You know, it has an ending energy to it. So good. Yeah. So this energy is going to be one that is about exercising your compassion. I love you all so much. And if you want to get your 2025 report, you can check out my website. I also have a free 2025 astrology planning course that I'm uploading lectures to weekly, right? So that you can plan out your year a little bit according to the cosmos, according to your planet cycles, and have some fun with planning. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next video, and this is the South Node in Virgo. Peace and love.